Now on Berochos Nun, it says when there's three in him, he's allowed to say Baruch Hu. Ema av Baruch Hu. You could say Nevarech and Baruch Hu. Umikol makom Nevarech adif. By just including himself in the group, let us be Mevarech. That's better. Amar Ravada Barava Amri Beirav Tanina Vav. What if you have 6 people? Nechlokin. You can divide into 2 groups of 3 and make 2 zimunim. Up until you get 6, 7, 8, 9. In 9, you can also make 3 groups. Ad Yud. Now, once you have Yud, you can't break up anymore because you have a new unit of 10. And if you do it less, you're not going to be able to say okay. Now,
you said that the reason was at 10 it's very difficult to discern 9 or 10. At 5,
that was something else. That was when we had 7.
To benching
and we
6 or
looked
7.
at people, and it looks here's not what it looks like. If you have 10, you have 10. If you don't have 10, you can't do it.
See, this is this and this is that.
So nevarech adif. So if we're going to learn the pshat nevarech is better, mishum hachin nechlokin. That's why we break up. Amrit baruch hu adif. Because we said if you have 4, you can say Baruch Hu. Why break up from 6 to 3? With 4, you could say Baruch Hu. But we say no, if you have 6, you can break into 2 groups of 3. So you see, Nevarech is better than Baruch Hu. Shema Mino, and that's a good proof. Taina Mahachi. There's a brisa to support exactly what we just said. Bein Shomer Baruch Hu, Bein Shomer Nevarech. If you said Nevarech or you said Baruch Hu, Ein Tois Noisoy Al Kach. You don't grab him if he didn't say one or the other. We don't chap him. But v'hanagdonim toisvaso, those that are megdagdeg, the people who are very careful listening to the Bal Koirei and he corrects them on every word, they can toifus on him.
Yeah.
Umeberchoisav shalodem nikir in Talmid Chacham. From the way a person makes brachos, you can tell whether there's a Talmid Chacham. That's why they say in Europe. The chassan would be sent. The chassan would meet his prospective kala once. My grandmother told me she remembers going with her father to meet her prospective chassan. They went, a few months before the wedding. They were allowed to see each other once. He was in a different room and she was in a different room, but they could see each other because they still had to. They would not be meshadech with each other without at least them seeing each other. But they say, but these shiduchim visits when the chassan would come. So they would lay out foods.
Different foods.
They could be like what we learned, especially the fruits, which brachos should he make, etc. So that's what we're seeing here. Very simple. Ketzad. So here the Gemara says something else. Rabbi Omer uvetuvo, when we say uvetuvo chayinu, uvetuvo chayinu, and we live from his kindness, his goodness. So he's a Talmid Chacham. It's uvetuvo. Now, umituvo, umituvo means from some of his good. You are minimizing, so that's not good. Harei zebur. He's not a Talmid Chacham. In Shmuel, it also says the word from your brachas, right? Umi instead of uvetuvo. Uvetuvo means from all your kindness. Umi berchosam means from some of the kindness, and yet it says in the Navi the same language. So b'she'ela shiny. So when you're asking, so it's different. Open up your mouth and fill me up. So ahu b'divrei Torah ksiv. So there, that's by divrei Torah. By divrei Torah, you can ask for even part of it. So there you can ask because there's so much, you can ask even from partly. If you say bituvo, it's good. But if you say chayim, harei zebur. And the narbloi masni ipchol. The narbloi learned the opposite. But v'lesel chazakar bloi. Amrav Yechon. Nevarech shachalnu mishalo. That nusach harei ze Talmid Chacham. Lemi shachalnu mishalo harei ze bur. Only Rav Achabred Rav Rashi V'Amrinan We use the same language over there. I mean, who else can make nisim? But other people can give good out. So there, if there's no confusion you're talking about, then you can say lemisha to the one who makes miracles. Well, who else can make miracles except for Hashem? So we know what you're talking about. So then you can say lemi. Amar Rav Yochanan, Baruch she'achalnu mishalo. Blessed is the person we ate from him. Harei ze Talmid Chacham. Ala mozon she'achalnu. Harei ze bor. Amar Huda Bredi Yeshua lo yamar nela begimel. The lek Hashem shemayim. That's only when you make a zima with three, because the name of Hashem is not been mentioned. Al basor. When you say, if you have Elokeinu, there's 10 people, the Ik Hashem shemayim uchamilsa, then we know for sure we're talking about. And there's no debate. Ki ditnan. Ki inyan shu mavarech kach oin nachrav Baruch Hashem Elokei Yisrael Elokei Hatzvakos Yoshev Akrivim ala mozon shechanu shlo. So when you're invoking the name of Hashem, then you can say ala mozon. It's not a degradation. Then the Mishnah said, Achadesrei ribo, going from 10 to 10,000, we gave different nuschos for each hierarchy. So Hagufa Kasha, the Mishnah was internally contradictory. Amrit Achadesrei riboy. It seems like from 10 to 10,000 is the same. V'hodar Ketani, but then you went out and gave me a detail. The Meya or Be'elef. Be'elef oimer Beriva oimer. So the Mishnah is not consistent. Amr Yosef loy kasha. Ha Rabbi Yosef li Rabbi Kiva, because it's not like us. Rabbi Yosef li Rabbi Kiva, like we said, it's not. Rabbi Yosef li oimer. He's the one who said l'fi roiva kal hey mevarchim. Based on the number you give the different brachos shenemer b'makelos bercholokim. So Rabbi Kiva rejected that, and he said, "Ma matzinu beis hakneses." He said, in a shul, we don't make different barchus and kedushas, whether we have 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. Once you have a minyan, so the same thing by benching. Rabbi Kiva high crud Rabbi Yosef Li my Ovid lay, but Rabbi Yosef Li has a pasuk. The makelot, whatever amount of group is that sort of by how big size you have, change the bracha. So there's a pasuk. So the answer is Rabbi Kiva uses that pasuk for something else. The fetuses that were in the womb of their mother at the time of the Yam Suf, they also sang Shira. Shenemar, b'makelos bercholokim Hashem mimekor Yisrael. The word makor is from the source. The source it means from the uterus. The idich. Where does Rabbi Yosef Lili learn the same concept that even the fetuses said Shira? Mimakor nafka. So we learn it from Makor as well. Amar Rav Halach Rabbi Kiva. Halach is Rabbi Kiva that we make no distinction whether we have a 10 or 100 or 1,000. We say the same Nevar Chilokeinu. Ravina Rav Chama Barbuzi Itl Be Reish Kalusa. Ravina Rav Chama went to the Reish Kalusa. Kam Rav Chama v'Komahader Abe Meya. He went looking around for 100 people. L'chora, why did he, there were 80, and he was looking in the street for another 20 to make up 100, like what we do, look for a million. Why are you doing this? I'm Rav Halach Rabbi Kiva. There's no when we get 100. There's no difference if we bring 100. We're still going to say Hashem Lokeinu. Amar Rava Kiachlinu Rivsa Bereish Kalu. When we ate bread by the Reish Kalusa, Mavarchin Gimel. The liverchu yud. When we were 3, we did 3, and we were 10, we did 10. Shama Reish Kalusa v'ikbid. The Reish Kalusa didn't like, meaning they didn't wait for the Reish Kalusa to bench. Once they had 3, they benched. Once they had 10, they benched. They didn't wait, like when you went to a wedding, the people bench on their own table. They didn't wait for the head table to bench. So he was upset. The Nivka b'Berochos, why didn't he wait and be yotze with the brach of the Reish Kalusa? There's so much noise you can't hear, so they have a reshus to make the zimah by themselves where they all can hear. 3 people that have been kovei suda, they're eating with each other. Now, the kodem chad minayu uborech. Now, one of them didn't understand. He benched by himself already. L'daite inu nafkin bezimun didei. Now, if later on the 2 people can add him to their zimun, but iu loy nafik bezimun didu. But he's not yotze with their zimun. Why? L'fiyein zimun l'mafreya. Once he benched, he can't go backwards and and get Yotze with a Zimun. Means the two didn't bench yet. So they can include him in their Zimun. But he cannot be Yotze with a Zimun since he benched already. Rav Yishmael Amirafim Bapapa, who was the name of an Amora, Eklebe Knishta de Abi Giver. He went to a certain shul. Kam Kra B'Safra, he read, V'Omer Baruch Hu Es Hashem. He didn't say Umavoyrach, the Ishtik, and he was quiet. V'Lo Amar Umavoyrach. Av Shekula Omar, they all yelled at him. Baruch Hu Es Hashem Umavoyrach, like when we do, if somebody misses the, doesn't say the right thing, we all hack on him. So the same thing, he just said Baruch Hu Es Hashem, and the crowd immediately cried, what do you mean, I'm a Voyrach? I'm a Rava. Pasya Uchma. You have low, or he sort of gave me an insult, Plukta Lamalucha. What are you sticking your, he understood that this was a machlokes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel. What are you sticking your nose in the machlokes for? The Rabbi Shmuel. The minig is like Rabbi Shmuel, which is Baruch Hashem, I'm a Voyrach. It's very unusual. Normally between Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Shmuel, we pass like Rabbi Kiva. Here we pass like Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow.